to Scrappin with Sheri, and it's time for page 76 in our sketchbook. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I have been real excited about this sketch because I'm going to be using the Coastal Shore collection. I didn't really look ahead, but I have been waiting on Coastal Shore. It kept selling out with my customers every time I'd get some in, so I finally got some for me. And this sketch does not look like it's going to lend itself to this paper, but I'm going to show you something that I've done in the past, and we're going to do it again. We are going to alter our Fast to Fab paper. Now, when I do that, really what I'm doing is just cutting off part of the scene to move it somewhere else. And I'm going to do that cutting both of these pieces at the same time. Now, let me show you. These two pieces are the complementary papers. They go right together, side by side, just to make a quick scene. And these pages are pretty as is, but I want to change it up a little bit because I want to put the lighthouse and this in the middle of my page, more like the sketch looks. Now, when the sketch shows these dots are in the middle or anything like that, it's really just telling you, okay, we want to do a border there. So it's not something magic where you have to do it that particular way. But I really like the look of flipping where my papers are on a Fast to Fab page. Now, because this sketch has a background paper, I do need to trim this down a little bit. And I'm going to do that on this solid color. Let's see if it tells us the size of that piece. Well, I don't. Let's see. It's two different pieces there, and it looks like it's an 11.5. So I'm just going to take a 1/2 inch off the bottom of this. And then I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off the side. And then I just need to take a 1/2 inch off the side of these. And I'm going to put those together to do that, facing forward, so I don't mess up the transitional area. And I hope that makes sense. You know, in one of the last videos, I said, hey, I finally got this right. And guess what? I didn't get it right again. Maybe today. There's always hope that eventually I'll get these measurements correct and I won't mess them up as badly as I keep doing. All right. And I could get the back of this, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to stick these two down. And that's going to give us a nice little border around the outside of this Fast to Fab page. Now, you may say, well, that's not really any quicker than doing anything else. It's not necessarily a whole lot quicker than just making a border, but I do love the Fast to Fab pages. I just don't want to always use them exactly like they come, and it's okay to alter them. The Fast to Fab pages are designed to give you quick, easy pages, but, I mean, if you alter them, it's okay too. Scrapbooking is your way, and if you don't like the way I alter them, that's okay too. Use them as is. These pages with the Coastal Shore collection, I think, are just beautiful. If you don't really do lighthouses, though, I mean, the backs of them are beautiful colors, just some really pretty tonals. So, even if you don't do lighthouses, these make great background papers for some of your other pages because the colors are just beautiful and very muted to make nice backgrounds. Okay, and we're just going to stick that one right back on top of there. Now, that part was really easy, but I probably am going to want some type of little border here just to cover up my scene. I don't want it to be a big, obnoxious thing. So, let me decide what kind of border I want. So, in keeping with the Coastal Shore collection, I have a couple of different options here. And I think for this one, I'm going to go with this navy because I have the navy already up here. But to pull it down here, I think is going to be really pretty. And I'm just going to set that on the seam. That center of that border is just perfect to cover the seam. And if you noticed, I kept the border strictly on the inside paper. I didn't let it go off to the red. That sticker is pulling my paper up right there. But you know what we'll do? We'll either cover it with a picture or we'll embellish it. I've got a little glitch right there. And because this is already taped down, I can just use my scissors to trim that up. If I decided to put the border on before I put these 2 pages together, it would have been real simple to cut that sticker down ahead of time. But, you know, I don't always plan through all the way. And then let's do the other border right here. Okay. And get that border strip put down. And then the rest, I want to say the rest should be really easy, but when you see the stack of pictures I've got to weed out, I don't think it's going to be as easy as I hope. Now, in our last trip to Michigan, we saw lots of lighthouses. So when I decided I was going to make this page, I thought, well, that's perfect. It'll go for any of my lighthouses. If you are someone who feels like everything has to match exactly, you're not going to love this, because this doesn't match the lighthouse exactly. But I had lots of pictures. And if you look on here, there are actually 3 photos with a bigger one and then 3 things along the bottom. I was going to see if I have any that I could cut down to make those smaller ones. But this might be a good big one, or we could just consider this embellishment our big one. So this was one of the lighthouses. This would be easy to cut down. Yeah, so we've got the lighthouse really just on one side. And, you know, I could make this work. I could change everything up and make it work. But I really don't want to abide by the sketch on this one, I think is my problem. Because I want this just to be a really pretty page. So I've done the basics of the sketch, but I'm just going to veer off completely on my photo placement, particularly on this side. So that was up at the top where the lighthouse was, up on the hill. But we also took some pictures down below. We hiked down to the bottom and took some pictures with the Mackinac Bridge in the background. And this rock is apparently really important to this place. So we could cut those down a little bit. Some of these birds in the bridge I'm seeing from a different spot. So maybe I didn't have quite as many photos as I thought. How convenient is that? But we can do some cutting down on some of these. So I think I'll work on that. This page I'm going to leave just like this because I love it. This one I'm going to adhere a little more closely to the size of the photos they recommended, but not exactly. They recommended 2 3/4 inch photos. To me, that is way too small. So I think I'm going to stick with about 4 inch photos. This was one of the first times that we had seen the Mackinac Bridge. Actually, it was the first time from a different location that we saw it. And I was just so impressed with the colors of the water there. The greens and the blues, just the variations in the color were very surprising to me. So I took lots and lots of pictures. I don't know about you, but anywhere we travel, we've learned pick up brochures. We usually pick up 2 or 3 because I like to cut them apart. Sometimes I put them in completely. And this particular place, it was closed at the time, but they had this really neat brochure. And it tells all about, you get the view of the bridge here. I was thinking there was something that told about the rock. Here it is. The rock is approximately 33.8 feet in horizontal circumference. It's really, really big, in fact. And it weighs around 54 tons. So that rock's kind of important to the history of the lighthouse here. That's kind of neat to know. And again, I'm just kind of cutting these down to a 4 inch, which means I'm not going to get 3 on there like they had in the photo, but I would much rather it work for my pictures than to work for the sketch. And we do have the basic elements of the sketch with the design through the middle of the page rather than on top or bottom. one's going to be a little bit harder to cut down very much. We were trying really hard to get some good selfies because we just don't get a lot of pictures together when we're on vacation together. And not always easy, especially when the sun's in your eyes. You don't have your sunglasses. So we're real squinty. But we got the rock, we got the bridge, so that's kind of fun. Look at how well these colors are working. Now, I know these are going to be 4 inches, which means that I could fit 3 across. They're just going to kind of go off the sides. And you know what? We may do that just to keep some of the integrity of the sketch. There we go. Okay, so we've got 3 along the bottom, and if you look, they've got 3 somethings along the bottom. 2 of them are actually design embellishments. And then we've got another photo here. I think rather than doing another photo, I would really like to add this on. But to do that, this one particularly is either going to have to get lost or slide down. And I'm going to keep that photo as is. Do y'all have a hard time with this? I think here, I have the rock here, that famous rock. So I think I'm going to go back to the bridge and the colors of the water and keep that rather than another photo of the rock. And then I can kind of center this and keep this one. So I'm losing this one that shows the rock here, but we've got the rocks here and here. So I think we're okay on that. I did lose this picture. It's just a close-up of basically that same thing, but I'd rather have the scenery than us standing up there. We've got this picture that's really pretty. I like the colors in it, but I'd rather have the photo of us, I think. So, look at how we did on that. We have managed to pare all these down to end up like this. And I do want to mat this one in white. This postcard that we bought, just so it coordinates with everything else on the page. And this one will be done pretty quickly. I've enjoyed Creative Memories coming out with all this coastal and lighthouse stuff in the past couple of months. It's really been helpful to me in getting this trip done. Now, I don't just do my pages on video. I am involved in several challenges during the summer particularly because we tend to stay home more. I do a lot of tutoring in the summer while the kids are out of school. So it's been good for me to be involved in several challenges, which has really helped me to catch up my albums so I can be ready for another trip. I know a lot of you never catch up your albums, and that's okay. A lot of people enjoy the process a lot more than they are focused on the progress. And it's just a difference in mindset. For me, I have a hard time going on the next trip and taking a bunch of pictures if I have a huge backlog of pictures waiting for me at home. Now you can see I've got a glitch there where I cut off the white and then paste it back together, but I can do an embellishment there. So let's pull our stickers and see what we've got in this Coastal Shore collection. Lots of pretty things. In the Wake of Adventure, I like that. That would be a good one to go there. Let's pull our foam squares to do that. And I'm just going to stick a couple on here. It is a sticker, so I need to be sure that I keep it from laying down too much. And I'm going to slide it way down here. I'm covering up where I've got that glitchy area, but I didn't want to cover the border here because it's beautiful and I've already covered it with the brochure anyway. Now, when I slide my page protector on, I will slide it over the edge of this brochure, so you'll still be able to see part of it, but not all of it. And I'm looking at what else I could add. You know, remember I glitched here. That By the Bay is pretty, but pretty heavy on the teal. I don't really want to do Lighthouse Love when I've got the lighthouse there. This Set Sail for Memories. That's a good color. Yeah, I like that. We'll do that one. And I'm going to do a big one in the middle with a couple of smaller ones around the outside of that. And that's going to go onto my glitch and also down onto this picture a little bit. Just kind of anchors things. And I've got some space here, and my next thought was, oh, how pretty would one of these stickers be down here, because we've got the driftwood and things. But I really need to do a little journaling. So I could just put one piece of driftwood along here, which I really do like. Yeah, and then I can journal right above that. So let's add a couple of foam squares to this one. And then all of our decorative stuff will be done. All I have to do is a little bit of journaling about this place. But I do like that driftwood on there. All right, so here we go. This is page 76 in our sketchbook. We've got a different color top and bottom because we flipped that Fast-to-Fab page. Our pictures are not lined up like these at all, but we did do the basic part of the sketch in having the two colors top and bottom with the design through the center. Here we did cut our pictures down a little more square. We didn't do the pictures like the sketch, but it's okay. And here we have page 76 done. So until I see you next time, happy scrapping.